Hello, I'm back with another vlog. Um, yeah, really exciting one this time. Sorry, I've still got my lockdown hair. Okay, hairdressers haven't opened at the moment of recording this video. But I'm back with another video and a really exciting one, as I said. So about just over 3.5 years ago, I decided to start a serial novel. Okay, I wanted to get something out there published, so I was writing this serial novel a little bit at a time and releasing it on a Saturday. Well, the Saturday's just happened. Okay, today's Easter Sunday, 2021, was the last update. So I was writing it, editing it, and then putting it online. Okay, and putting it onto Wattpad. Okay, so the link will be down there under the video for the book, which is called Islands of Hope. I suppose I should show you a cover, but it's an electronic book, isn't it? So I can't. So there we go. That's what it looks like. Now the book is about well, it's set in the future, a couple hundred years in the future, where a company called Princips have taken over the whole world, and there's these mega cities, and then there are other sort of slums and areas where the poor live, and if they kind of do things wrong, sometimes they're captured, they're taken, and they're kind of sold into slavery. Now it's not about race; it's race. Although the main protagonist is a black teenager, it's not about race. It's about the idea that they don't have money. Okay, the reason I used a black teenager is because I hear a lot of things and then use a lot of movies where they're remaking movies with gender swaps or with race swaps, and I was kind of like, is that really fair? Surely people want someone to portray them and to represent them, okay? And if young black women aren't feeling like they haven't got a role model, someone to represent them in a book, then more books should be written about that, okay? Fiction books like I write. So I've tried. So that's why I did it. Now I hope I'm not offending anyone with that, because I'm not. I'm a white man, so I've done my best. But if I have got anything wrong, then please do tell me. It's out of ignorance. I've tried to research it and talk to people, and hopefully that is right. So anyway, this story is set in the future. Princips are in control, and a girl who's with her mother living in the slum, and her mother's starving or not eating very well to fend for her daughter. So her daughter steals some bread, and then that causes obviously a chain of events, which turns out that she gets sold into slavery, but it's not really a slave. It's actually a pretense front. The guy who's buying her is pretending to be a slaver, and actually is running a rebellion to kind of free the world from Princips, and then it all builds up from there, and then she goes on a journey, and there's loads of other bits coming into it about which builds up the world and other characters, but mainly it's focusing on her going on a journey and trying to find her mother and free her mother, and then ending up obviously being a key part of the resistance or rebellion or whatever you want to call it. I get mixed up with the terms. So yeah, it's taken me 3 and a bit years to write. There is going to be a re-edit of it. I'm going to structurally re-edit. There are a few mistakes still in there, but I'm going to leave that version on Wattpad. I'm then going to re-edit it and pop it onto Smashwords. And hopefully, yeah, it's a story that you will really enjoy. Well, it won't be re-edited straight away. I've got some other projects to work on, so I'll be working on that. But the really big news for me, the great news, is I've done it at last. It was really exciting when I started. It's still exciting, but it does take up a lot of time, and every week there's other stories that I want to work on. I'm like, no, I need to work on Islands of Hope. I need to get it sorted. So yeah, that's great. So as usual, I'll read you a little bit. Now, in a previous video, I read part of chapter 1, so I'm going to read a bit of chapter 2. Now, in chapter 2, Kira's been stolen some bread and been taken away and put in the back of a van. Okay, and therefore is just being taken to the city, to be basically justice to be dispensed upon her. Kira's eyes screwed shut as the rainbow of lights assaulted her senses. It had been near pitch black in the back of the van, painted windows blocking out most of the morning light. The city was alien to her. Everything Every surface seemed to have flashing banners on it advertising everything from the latest computer games to yachts and the newest invention of hover cars. The moving pictures told her what they were selling. Being from the slums, she had never learned to read. All education was now accessed through computers at home, and her family did not have the means to afford such luxury as even a tablet or smartphone, let alone the latest virtual reality units. She had no concept of how long she had been in the van. All she knew was that it had been a long journey. The nearest city to her village was a 2-hour ride. She presumed this was where she had been brought. The city was named Johnsonville after a former director of Princips Limited. All cities were now. These include Smytheville, Jonesville, and Takardaville, amongst others. Another piece of self-indulgence by the mega company, another way to rob everyone's noses in the fact they were being controlled. Kira felt somewhat outside of Princip's grasp in the slums, but now she was most definitely in the system. After being caught, the shopkeeper had sent a message to the Justice Department. Kira did not bother to protest. She sat quietly and waited for them to come. She knew good behaviour now would help her with a sentence. It was amazing how quickly they turned up. But then again, the slums were rife with crime, so the justice teams probably stayed on high alert and must have had teams stationed in each village. Kira had seen others picked up for similarly small crimes, but had not been there when the calls were made. Also, none of the teams patrolled the slums in case of attack. They must have secret hiding places in the villages, ready to roll when called. That was all history now to her. She was here. She had been taken. Her only regret that she could not say goodbye to her mother. The air felt stagnant on her face as she was bundled from the van by the 2 guards who had picked her up from the slums. Their uniforms, heavy black boots, dark blue combat trousers and jacket with bulletproof vest topped with a jet black helmet and tinted visor, were covered in the dirt and grime of the slums. They juxtaposed against the clean, almost glowing streets of the city. Kira was being delivered to the city's Hall of Justice. Rather than being taken round to a concealed entrance, they marched her through the streets, a warning to others that may consider following in her footsteps. A light drizzle hit the morning, but that did not stop the onlookers. Everyone they passed turned heads, their faces all the same, pastiches of disgust. One even spat, a crime in the city in any other situation, but criminals were fair game. She retched as the warm phlegm hit her cheek, then screwed up her face as it trickled down, her bound hands being unable to wipe it away. Kira stopped looking into everyone's eyes, stopped staring back at them, and stopped showing them her defiance. Instead, she ignored them, focused only on the building they headed towards, one of the myriad of skyscrapers that created the maze that was this city. So that's just a little feel for the piece. Hopefully if you read it you'll enjoy it. I also already noticed a little mistake in there when I was reading that out because it hasn't been completely edited. You know, I've run it through my editing program and I've played with it and I've updated it, but I need to do a little bit more editing. But if you enjoy it, maybe give it a vote on Wattpad. It's number 10 in Totalitarian at the moment. Hopefully it is. Like I said, if I've made any mistakes, either culturally or with spelling or grammar or plot holes, please feel free to let me know. I'm pretty open. Okay, I make lots of mistakes. I try not to. It comes from hopefully a good place. I suppose the final thing to say is if you've enjoyed this and you enjoy my videos and my rubbish poems and my stories, then like and subscribe. You don't have to, just apparently that's what you do at the end of YouTube videos. I've got the lovely front title splash screens now that I've started doing, so I suppose I better have the like and subscribe bit, and there'll probably be videos popping up here because I found out how to do that as well. Anyway, thanks for your support, and hopefully you enjoy Islands of Hope.